What if the robot standing in your kitchen tomorrow morning wasn't some far-fetched science fiction fantasy, but a very real machine built by Tesla, capable of cooking your breakfast, cleaning your home, and handling dozens of daily chores without you lifting a single finger? That's not a dream anymore. That's the direction Elon Musk and Tesla are sprinting toward at full speed, and the version of Optimus that's going to change everything is arriving sooner than most people expect. If you've been following the humanoid robot race closely, buckle up, because what we're about to break down will fundamentally shift how you see this entire industry and every player in it. Let's start with what's actually happening right now, because there's a tremendous amount of confusion swirling around about which version of Optimus we've been watching in Tesla's public demos and what's genuinely on the horizon. The robots Tesla has been showing off. The ones walking around, holding conversations, and handling objects in controlled environments, are not version 3. Elon Musk himself stepped in to clarify this on X, explaining that what audiences have been watching are still the version 2 and version 2.5 robots. The actual Optimus Gen 3 hasn't been revealed to the public yet, and Musk described it using a single word that carries a lot of weight: sublime. That one word tells you everything about how significant this upcoming generation is expected to be and how much of a departure it represents from everything that came before it. Before diving into what Gen 3 will bring, it's worth appreciating what version 2.5 already accomplished, because the leap from version 2 to 2.5 was genuinely more meaningful than the public gave it credit for. The entire external design was rebuilt from the ground up. The boxy, industrial-looking frame with exposed cables and clunky joints has been replaced with smoother contours, cleaner covers, and rounded shapes that make the robot look far more like a finished consumer product than an engineering prototype. It's a visual transformation that signals Tesla understands the robot has to look approachable if it's ever going to live alongside real people in real homes. Beyond the aesthetics, Optimus 2.5 introduced conversational ability through an integration with xAI's Grok voice assistant. Ask it where to find a Coke and it'll acknowledge its limitations while offering to walk you to the kitchen to look. It's not perfect, there's a noticeable lag in responses, and the conversations can feel slightly stilted and hesitant, but the fact that the robot can have any real-time spoken exchange with a person is a meaningful milestone compared to earlier generations. Every version has pushed the boundary forward, and version 3 is being positioned as the largest jump the platform has ever made. So what exactly is Optimus Gen 3 bringing to the table? Based on everything Musk has publicly said and hinted at, this generation is designed to be the final production-ready version of the robot, the one Tesla actually intends to build at meaningful industrial scale. We're talking about production targets that could eventually reach 1 million units per year. Musk has framed Optimus 3 specifically as the right version to manufacture at that kind of volume, and that framing is significant. This isn't about producing another impressive lab robot. This is about building something that performs reliably in the real world and can be manufactured affordably enough to reach real consumers in real numbers. The planned upgrades span every major system. The robot will move with far more natural walking mechanics, reflecting improvements in both hardware and the AI systems that interpret and respond to physical movement. It will be powered by Tesla's new AI-5 onboard computing chip, representing a dramatic leap in local processing capability. The hands are expected to feature 22 degrees of freedom, enabling a level of dexterity that previous generations couldn't approach. And the overall design is expected to push even further toward a finished, consumer-ready aesthetic that distances itself from anything resembling a prototype. Now let's talk about why the hands matter so deeply, because this is one of the most critical and underappreciated aspects of the entire humanoid robot challenge. Many robots emerging from Chinese developers right now are genuinely remarkable machines that have made enormous investments in mobility. They can sprint at high speeds, execute backflips, dance, and perform athletic maneuvers that generate millions of views online. The footage is undeniably impressive. But when you sit with that admiration for a moment and ask what practical problem that robot actually solves, you start to realize that raw mobility was never the point. A robot that can sprint across a room can still crush an egg the instant it tries to pick one up. A machine that executes perfect backflips might be completely incapable of opening a refrigerator door, recognizing which ingredients it needs, turning on a stove, managing cooking heat, and then wiping down the counter once dinner is ready. That entire sequence, something a human executes without consciously thinking about each step, requires a kind of physical intelligence that most robots haven't come anywhere close to achieving. And almost every part of it flows through the hands. The hands are where real-world utility lives or dies. That's why Tesla's focus on redesigning the hands for Gen 3 is such a central piece of the story. With 22 degrees of freedom engineered into the hand design, Optimus Gen 3 will be capable of movements that are dramatically more nuanced than anything a traditional industrial gripper can produce. But degrees of freedom alone don't capture the full picture of what makes a robotic hand genuinely useful. What matters equally, and arguably more, is the quality of the actuators driving those joints. Actuators are the mechanical muscles of the robot, responsible for powering every joint and every finger movement with the right amount of force at the right moment. Building actuators that are precise enough for delicate manipulation, durable enough for continuous daily operation, and affordable enough to manufacture at the scale of millions is one of the genuinely hard engineering problems in the entire field of robotics. Elon Musk has spoken candidly about this challenge. He's explained that building a dexterous robotic hand that performs well in a laboratory is one level of problem. Building 1 million of those hands that all perform identically, reliably, and at a price point that makes commercial sense is an entirely different category of difficulty, one that is exponentially more demanding. That gap between a working prototype and a manufacturable product at scale is precisely where many robotics companies have struggled, and Tesla is approaching it by developing custom actuators for different parts of the robot's body rather than using a one-size-fits-all component across all joints. The logic here is straightforward but important. A robot's hips need to generate substantial torque to maintain balance and support the robot's weight while moving. The shoulders require a different quality of motion, smoother, more natural, with a full range of extension. The wrists demand flexibility and a wide sweep of movement. The fingers need extreme precision for anything resembling real manipulation of household objects. If you power every one of those joints with the same actuator type, you end up with a robot that is heavier than necessary, slower than it could be, more expensive to build, and less effective at the things it was designed to do. Optimizing each actuator for its specific role is the harder engineering path, but it's the path that leads to a robot that actually performs in the messy, unpredictable physical world. Now let's get into the intelligence side of the equation, because even the most advanced hands will fall short if the robot can't process information fast enough to use them effectively. That's where Tesla's AI-5 chip enters the picture, and it may genuinely be the single most transformative upgrade in the entire Gen 3 package. The core issue is this: a robot cannot function by depending on cloud connectivity for every decision it needs to make. If Optimus is carrying a tray of food across a room and a child suddenly runs in front of it, the robot cannot pause, send data to a remote server, wait for a processed response, and then decide to stop. That decision has to happen in a fraction of a second, entirely within the robot's own onboard processing system. The same applies to something as seemingly simple as gripping a glass. The robot needs to know how much force to apply instantly, not after a network round trip. This kind of local, real-time processing capability is what separates a robot that works in a controlled demo from one that can actually operate safely and effectively in unpredictable environments full of real people and real variables. To frame the computational challenge, consider what a self-driving car has to do: perceive its surroundings, identify vehicles and pedestrians, read traffic signals, and react continuously in real time. That is already an extraordinarily demanding task for any computing system. But a humanoid robot has to accomplish all of that and then physically interact with the world on top of it. It doesn't just observe its environment, it reaches into it, picks objects up, applies precise amounts of force, and navigates spaces shared with humans. That requires both visual intelligence and what you might call motor intelligence, running simultaneously and continuously, demanding a level of onboard processing that older chips simply couldn't support reliably. The AI-5, according to Tesla's stated vision, is built to handle exactly that kind of processing load locally while maintaining power consumption low enough that the robot's battery doesn't drain within an hour. If it delivers on that promise, it fundamentally transforms what Optimus can do outside of carefully staged demonstration environments and opens the door to the kind of real-world autonomy that would make the robot genuinely worth having in your life. That brings us to what may be the most exciting part of the entire Optimus ecosystem, something that rarely gets the attention it deserves when people discuss individual robot specs. It's the learning architecture that Tesla is building around the fleet, centered on the concept of what Musk has called Optimus Academy. Tesla isn't attempting to manually program every possible scenario a robot might encounter. That approach would be impossibly slow and could never keep pace with the complexity of real environments. Instead, the plan is to build a learning flywheel. A system where robots go out into the world, face real situations, generate data from their experiences and mistakes, and feed that data into a central learning system that makes the entire fleet smarter over time. Here is what makes that approach genuinely powerful. When one Optimus robot learns a new skill, say, how to move parts efficiently inside a factory, or how to serve food at the Tesla diner, or how to navigate and clean a room. That learning doesn't stay isolated to that single unit. The knowledge can be distributed across the entire fleet. Imagine thousands of robots simultaneously working in factories, restaurants, homes, warehouses, and charging stations, each one generating real data about physical tasks every single day, all of it feeding into the same central system, all of it improving the software that every robot in the network runs on. That is the fundamental idea behind Optimus Academy, and Tesla is reportedly building infrastructure to support tens of thousands of robots engaged in this kind of continuous real-world learning simultaneously. The implications of this are significant. A standalone robot, even an expensive one, learns at a painfully slow pace. You'd buy it, train it yourself in your specific environment, and measure improvement in months. But when that robot is part of a network of thousands contributing to a shared intelligence system, the pace of improvement accelerates in ways that simply can't be replicated by any isolated machine. Every robot working in the field is generating training data. Every piece of training data improves the model. Every model improvement flows back to every robot in the fleet. It's a compounding advantage that grows more powerful the more robots are deployed, which creates a strong incentive for Tesla to scale as fast as possible. But to properly assess where Optimus Gen 3 stands, the competitive landscape deserves an honest look. Boston Dynamics has its Atlas robot, a tall, heavy-duty industrial machine operating with 56 degrees of freedom, built explicitly for demanding factory and warehouse environments. Atlas is serious engineering, but its specifications and scale position it firmly in industrial applications rather than home use. It's a different product for a different market, and it doesn't directly threaten the household assistant vision Tesla is pursuing with Optimus. The pressure coming from Chinese developers is a different kind of challenge entirely. It's a pricing challenge. Companies like Unitree have released humanoid robots at price points that fundamentally disrupted the market's assumptions about what these machines should cost. A fully formed humanoid robot with cameras, microphones, speakers, onboard processors, and functional joints starting under $5,000 changes the entire conversation about affordability. The message it sends to the broader industry is clear. The days of assuming humanoid robots would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars are over, and any company that clings to premium pricing without delivering dramatically superior capability is going to lose market share fast. Even Musk has acknowledged this openly. If Tesla prices Optimus Gen 3 too high at launch, no amount of future price reduction promises will protect them from consumers who can point to a capable alternative at a fraction of the cost right now. Tesla's answer to that challenge isn't purely about matching prices, it's about competing on the depth of capability, the reliability of performance, and the long-term value generated by the learning network. Optimus doesn't need to do everything from the moment it ships. The strategy is to identify a set of high-value, repeatable tasks the robot can perform reliably and economically, build a foundation from those tasks, and use the data generated from real-world operation to continuously expand what the robot can handle over time. Every completed task is a training signal. Every training signal improves the system. Every improvement flows back to the entire fleet. The flywheel builds momentum, and once it's spinning at full speed, it becomes very difficult for competitors to catch up with. That networked intelligence advantage is arguably more valuable than any single hardware specification, because hardware can be copied, but a data advantage built over years of real-world deployment is nearly impossible to replicate quickly. It's the same compounding dynamic that gave Tesla such a durable lead in self-driving data relative to traditional automakers, and the team behind Optimus appears to be consciously engineering the same kind of structural advantage into the robot ecosystem from the very beginning. Tesla is set to debut Optimus Gen 3 this coming July, and the expectations that have built up around this reveal are genuinely substantial. A robot that moves with natural, fluid mechanics that feel genuinely human-like. A robot that thinks fast enough to handle real-world environments thanks to AI 5. A robot whose hands can manipulate objects with a precision approaching human capability. A robot embedded in a networked learning system that allows it to grow its skills continuously. A robot that looks like a finished product rather than a technology demonstration. And a robot capable of handling up to 100 different types of tasks each day, not through brute force programming, but through a system that learns, adapts, and shares knowledge across an entire global fleet. The world is watching closely, and for good reason. Whether every one of those promises materializes fully at the July debut remains to be seen, and healthy skepticism is always warranted with any product reveal of this magnitude. But the trajectory is undeniable, the engineering pieces are coming together methodically, and the era of humanoid robots that are actually useful in real daily life is closer than almost anyone predicted even 2 years ago. The next few months are going to be extraordinary, and the question of who gets there first will shape an industry for decades to come.